Hello, how are you? Do you see the tree behind me? It is called a Gingko tree. In Japanese, it sounds like a bank, but it's nothing to do with a bank. But it's happened to be called a Gingko tree. Now you can see the leaves are kind of like a yellowish green. Still, it's not fully making into the autumnal color. Usually it gets almost like a bright yellow, what some people might call it gold color. But we're gonna have to wait a little while till they turn yellow or gold. Anyway, did you know that the ginkgo tree is the cousin of pistachio tree? Uh, do you know the pistachio nuts? Like a yellowish green, this kind of a color nuts? Well, they are kind of like a same family as the ginkgo tree. The ginkgo and the pistachio are kind of, let's say, cousins. They are under the same family, yet they are definitely different species. Okay. By the way, ginkgo nuts, do you know? Nuts are part of fruits. Depending on what part of a fruit you eat, whether people eat the skin of it, just like a Japanese citrus, small citrus called uh, kinkan, or whether you eat the flesh of the fruit. The flesh is like meat, apples, uh, oranges, peaches. We eat the flesh part of the fruit. Also, we eat the pit. Well, maybe you know them as you might want to call them seeds. But seeds are small in size, and there are many in one vegetables or fruit, such as cucumbers, watermelons, tomatoes, uh, bananas, oranges. They have several or many small seeds. They are seeds. Pits are usually existing inside the center part of fruit. For example, peaches, avocados, and almond, uh, cashews, walnuts. They are the pet of fruits. So, depending on what part of the fruits we eat, but they are all fruit. So, almond, cashew nuts, ginkgo nuts are fruit. Okay. Except we call them peanuts, but they are not fruit. Why? Because they don't grow on tree branches. They don't grow in the trees. The peanuts are kind of unique plants. Okay, for example, you seed a peanut. It has to be flat. It has to be raw and fresh, not cooked or processed like butter peanuts or caramel peanuts. No, they don't. They're dead. They're food. But raw and fresh peanut, you put inside the soil, they would sprout and coming out. And do you think it's gonna grow any? taller? No. To a certain height, then the sprout would go back into the soil, going back there again. Then, from the tip of the plant, the roots start to grow in the earth, or would say dirt in the farm, right? And those roots start grow I would say peanuts. So we call them nuts, but they're not fruit. So, except peanuts, all other nuts are fruit. Okay. Now, ginkgo nuts and pistachio nuts are kind of similar, of course, because they are the same family, yet definitely they are different species. Pistachio nuts are from Iran in the Middle East. Their language is Farsi, which is the modern Persian language. So Iran is not Arab country. Arab countries, their language is Arabic, but the language of Iran is not Arabic. It is the language called modern Persian, or today they call it Farsi. But they borrowed or they used Arabic alphabetical characters. That's all. Something like Japanese people use Chinese characters, but it is Japanese and it's not Chinese, right? Not exactly the same, but kind of like that. Okay, now, ginkgo trees. You can see many places in Japan, but the ginkgo tree is the symbol of Tokyo City, as well as the symbol of Kanagawa Prefecture. Isn't that strange? And also the official prefecture bird of Kanagawa Prefecture is the seagull, or I would say gull, or a seagull, right? The bird, the white bird. Usually you can find them around the bay areas or near the oceans or the seas, right? And ironically, the official bird of Tokyo City is also the seagull. But they just put the yuri, which is the what do you call the bellflower, lily, kind of like a lily seagull. But they live in the Tokyo Bay. Do you know Tokyo Bay shapes like this? And here is the Chiba Prefecture. Here is the Kanagawa Prefecture. And Tokyo is the northern tip of that. Then Yokohama City would be around here. The Kawasaki City. Then, Yokosuka City or Miura town is going to be following there to the south. So the birds live around the Tokyo Bay. They are going back and forth because they fly, because they have the wings to fly, right? So they're going north to south, south to west, west to east, east to north. So I think they share the same birds. So interesting, isn't it? The same kind of things happened. For example, Chiba Prefecture's capital city name is also Chiba. So Chiba Prefecture. And the Saitama Prefecture's capital city is also Saitama Prefecture. But Kanagawa Prefecture's capital is Yokohama City. And the Tokyo's capital, well, we don't have Tokyo City. They have the West Tokyo City, but we don't have the Tokyo City. But there are 23 metropolitan areas, which is divided into 23 words. And each word has its own government, Board of Education, and systems. So each one of them are independent, just like Yokohama City is in Kanagawa Prefecture, and another independent city is Sagamihara City in Kanagawa Prefecture. So Kanagawa Prefecture has its own Kanagawa Prefectural government, but which has, well, of course, there are something to do with it, but not always directly. They are the government of Yokohama City, nor of Sagamihara City either, because they have their own government. But all other towns and the city are under prefectural government. But Tokyo, of course, 23 areas or words or districts has its own independent government and systems. But other towns and cities in Tokyo, except for those 23 words, their government is the Tokyo central government. So systems are different. Tokyo is a little exception. And other prefectures they are following the same names, the system, but they're not exactly the same system. For example, easy example is, okay, let's say Yokohama City and, for example, Setagaya word of Tokyo are the kind of like the same. So when you talking about the largest independent city, it would be Yokohama City in Kanagawa Prefecture. And the second is Osaka City in Osaka Prefecture. All right. Because all those 23 districts or words in Tokyo, none of them is big enough to compare with Yokohama City or Osaka City. So that's the system. It is confusing, but it's interesting. And some prefectures' capital city name is the same as prefecture, like Saitama Prefecture, Saitama City, Chiba Prefecture, Chiba City, Hiroshima Prefecture, Hiroshima City. But others, Kanagawa Prefecture's capital city is Yokohama City. And excuse me, Guma Prefecture's capital city name is not Guma Prefecture. Guma City, there's no such a city exist. Well, Hokkaido Prefecture doesn't have Hokkaido City in that prefecture. It is a Sapporo City. So there are two different systems exist. We should understand. In the United States, of course, the capital of the United States of America is Washington, D.C., and Canada's capital city is, where is it? Yes, Ottawa. So there's no Canada city or America city. Well, in France, Paris is the capital, not France city. But are there any countries which capital city name is the same as country? Oh my goodness. Well, maybe Brazil and Brasilia. Well, Mexico. The United States of Mexico's capital city is Mexico. So we call it Mexico City to differentiate, those two. Anyway, that's all for today. Maybe next time you can see a little bit more yellowish colors to this ginkgo tree. Take care of yourself. Don't catch a cold. Aloha oe for now.